All right. So once your registration has been approved, you're going to receive a welcome email from partnering@virtualpartnering.com. It will have a link that will take you directly to the login page of this partnering system, as I'm showing here on screen. If you've already used the one-on-one partnering system at a previous event, such as BioDigital or even previous Inova virtual partnering events, you can use the same credentials to log into this conference. If you've forgotten that password, or if it's your first time using this platform, no worries, you can actually reset your password by clicking this link here, or by clicking the link that comes within the welcome email. As soon as you log in, you're going to be taken directly to the home page. So let's look at the home page here. We have across the top left section your menu. So this will take you to different sections of the platform, including the profile, search, calendar, and message center. Along the left side here, we have the metrics for how your company is doing as they use the system. So for example, we have at the top the percentage of completion of your company profile. We have information about the number of meeting requests you send out, and then also whether or not you have meetings scheduled. On the right side, down along the right here, you see there are steps that you can follow to success. So these are quick tips to help you get started and partner successfully in the system. And down below that, you have handy links to support information, tutorials, and also a diagnostic check that you can run as you're starting to use the virtual room provider we're using is Global Meet. And if you want to check your system before you go into a meeting, you can run a diagnostic check to make sure that the meeting goes well and you don't have any performance issues. Now, in the middle of the screen here, we have a couple of section under featured content. So we have a section called company presentations. So all the companies that are participating in the event can submit a presentation or videos or posters, that sort of thing. And that's what's going to be listed here in this middle section. In order to see more, let's say about AgileVax, you can just click on the link there and it will display for you their presentation. And of course, if their information looks kind of interesting for you, perhaps you want to maybe have a meeting with them, it can stir some conversations there. You can go ahead and click the name of the company, which is here, and that will take you directly to the profile page of that company. We also have content sessions. So this is going to be where you will find a handy link to the recording of this webinar if you want to come back and listen to this demo again. And then down below, you also will have the link to access the webinar that was mentioned by Andy, so the Calculating Risk and Return in Oncology Development. This will take place on at 9 a.m. on the 3rd. However, if you can't make it at that time, you can always come back and access the video. It will be available on demand. All right. So the first thing you'll want to do after you've logged into the system is update your profile. So let's go there now. So each profile in the system is going to be automatically populated with some information. If you've already participated, for example, in BioDigital or again, another Inova partnering event, and you had a profile in the system, then that information is going to be automatically populated into this profile here. But of course, you'll want to make sure that whatever is entered on the profile is up to date and also relevant for this particular oncology event. Same thing, of course, with the immunology event. I'm going to focus primarily on the oncology therapeutic area for this demonstration, but it will be the exact same experience for the immunology event later in March. So here we have our profile, and we can go through now and look at all the ways that you can describe your company so that it's searchable and people can find you. If they want to have a meeting with you, they'll be able to search and find based on what you enter into your profile. So that would include here on the left side, the company type. You can select from the list what's the appropriate company type for your company. Also, you have here options to enter keywords, a brief description, and a description of your company, as well as objectives. So for example, in our sample here of Balsa Pharma, we can see that they are looking for a specific type of partnerships to use to do the clinical research in immunotherapy on their gene editing technology. So they're looking for a very specific kind of partnership in this event. They also have indicated what their licensing objectives are. And they've indicated in this middle section here what therapeutic areas of interest are their main focus. And you can, again, add these pieces of information by clicking on the field, and you have a tree of options that you can choose from, or you can even search to enter in a specific therapeutic area. Down below, they've entered information about the company's financials. And then also you have options here to enter in contact information like your URL or the location of your company. Scrolling back up to the top, up in the top in the middle here, there is a logo. Again, this is going to be probably preloaded from the last time you used the one-on-one partnering system. If you have a new logo, you want to update it, you just click the avatar and upload an image file. Simple as that. And then in the middle of the page, we have information about what you're going to be showcasing at this event. So in the case of Balsa Pharma, they're going to showcase an asset for their gene therapy, but you can also enter services or market products. And you add that information by simply clicking the blue button, Manage button here on the right side. Let's take a look at what Balsa has added for their gene therapy. Here you can see that they have added, of course, the name and the type, but also keywords, a description. Down below, there is all kinds of classification details such as the development phase, indications, mechanism of action, and technologies. And at the very bottom, they've also added an attachment. So if you want to include a specific presentation about your asset, you can actually upload and attach it here. Now, in addition to the asset and company profiles, you also have profiles for each person that's attending on the right side. So each person who's participating from your company will have a delegate profile. I'm going to click on Dana's so we can take a look and see what information is in her profile. Okay, first of all, up at the top, of course, you have, again, a picture. If you've been through the pandemic now and you finally got a chance to go to the salon and get that great new haircut, you want to upload a new picture here. It's very easy to just, again, click the avatar and upload an image file with your new picture. This piece of information here in the middle is quite important, the time zone. So this is a virtual partnering event. This means that the calendar is open 24/7. But you're going to want to indicate specifically when you're available for meetings, in terms of where you're going to be when the event happens. So for example, when we look at Dana, she's got here Boston. That's normally where she would be working, but she's relocated during this pandemic to the San Francisco area. So she'll want to enter in here the correct time zone. And this will be reflected on the calendar. It also will be reflected, we'll talk about it a little bit more when we talk about scheduling, but it is important to indicate that you have that correct time zone listed there. Now, under the delegate profile information, you also have the company profile, job title, keywords, areas of expertise. Again, all of this is searchable. So as people are looking maybe for someone specifically who has that kind of area of expertise, you want to make sure they can find you. So enter the right areas of expertise in that field. Down below, there is a section here that's a relatively new section. This is for sharing, or I should say entering, your contact information. So this would be your email address and telephone number. It is not published broadly. It's not published throughout the whole platform. This information is only going to be visible to you. It's private. But there is an option, and I'll talk about it at the end of the demo, for sharing this information in case you need to with people you're meeting with. So you can enter that information here. And then at the very bottom, there is a button that you can click to update your notification preferences. So the system is going to send out automatically different types of communications, including when meetings are scheduled, when they are accepted, if they're declined. So you can use that page to indicate what kinds of notifications you want to receive. All right. So once your profiles are ready, it's time to update your availability, and that is done here in the calendar. So let's go there now. So the calendar is going to display all your meetings as they are scheduled, but of course, before they can be scheduled, you need to free up the time for the platform to know when you're available for scheduling meetings. You can see by default that everything is marked as not available, and you can click on individual time slots to make them available. Of course, that would be really tedious to have to do it for all the hours of every day you're going to participate, but you can actually use this button here, mark as available from 9 a.m. to 1800 hours or 6 p.m. When you click that, that will automatically mark as available the time slots in your normal working day. And of course, In addition to this, you're going to want to make sure that you carve out some time maybe for a quick break if you need to go get a coffee, or if you're waiting for that Amazon package to come in. You want to make sure that those time slots are marked as not available for when you don't want to have a meeting scheduled. In addition, you'll need to update every day of the calendar. So you just click on the different days that the event is taking place and mark your availability for each day. And likewise, if you are managing the calendars for your colleagues, you can actually click here on your name. This drop-down will appear that will let you pick your colleagues that are participating. You just simply select their name, their calendar will appear, and then you can update their availability as well. Okay, so once your calendar is up to date and your profiles are ready, you are ready to search for companies to meet with. And that is done here under Search. Now, when you click Search and you come to this page, you're going to see everything on the system. So you're going to see all the companies that are registered, all of their delegates, and all of the assets, market products, and services. And obviously, you don't want to spend all day scrolling through this list. So what you'll need to do is to search to find something more specific. And then let's take, for example, the case of Balsa Pharma. They're looking for help testing their immunotherapy technology. So they're looking for clinical trial services. So they might start with a basic search here on CRO. And that narrowed down the list a little bit. It's still quite a lot of companies. So let's add a few additional parameters to make the search more targeted. In order to do that, you click here on Advanced Search. And here you have all the options for searching throughout the database. And so in the case of Balsa, they're going to be looking for companies that have services. So I will click on that. And the service type should be clinical trials. So I click into that field and select clinical trial. And likewise, because they're based in the US and we still have travel restrictions and considerations like that, they probably will want to work with another company that is in the US. So under companies, we will want to scroll down and select the country of the United States. And once they've set those parameters, they just click Search Now. And as you can see, that narrows down the list considerably to something a lot easier to digest. Now, they may want to have additional companies, additional options in case this one meeting doesn't go that well. So rather than have to come in and set all those parameters over again, they can actually create a saved search based on this criteria. And they do that on the right side here, this link that says Save Search as New. When they click that link, it saves the search. They can give it a name. And then every time they come back to the platform, all they have to do is come here under Saved Searches, click on the saved search, it will rerun the search, and then they can just come to the sorting button here on the top right and change it from relevancy to modification date, and that will bring the newest companies that fit the criteria to the top of the list. So once you've executed that search and you found a good company to meet with, how do you request the meeting? That's the next step. Here we see on the row, at the end of the row on the right side, New Requests is a button. Here we click that, and that will bring the New Request panel out to be displayed. And here they're going to enter in the information that will go out in the request to the other company. So let's make sure that when you send these requests out that you make the information you're sending out specific and simple and succinct. So for example, with Balsa Pharma, they're going to want to enter clinical trials services needed. In the message section, the body of the email, they're going to want to enter just some quick information about the kind of gene therapy they're working with, the kind of services they're looking for, just to make sure that the other company knows exactly why they want to meet. Down below, they can actually attach to this request the attachment that was on their asset profile, so they'll link that. And then at the very bottom, they can also indicate if additional people are expected to attend this meeting from the Balsa Pharma side. So if they want to add an additional member of their team, they can add them. And once they have all the information in the request, they simply click Send Request. And now you can see that the status has appeared here on the right side, replacing the button. It says requested. So the system has automatically sent out to all the meeting participants or all the people from the other company a notification, and it's saying, hey, Balsa Pharma wants to meet with you, Lead Trials, what do you say? And so the people from Lead Trials can click on the button and come into the system and see the request. They can see more information about Balsa Pharma. Now, as these requests are coming in and going out to different companies, all those communications are going to queue up in the message center. So we'll go there now. And here in the message center, you can see the request that I just sent out to Lead Trials is listed. It has a status of requested. It has all the information that I linked to it in the request. When Lead Trials receives the notification, if they accept that request, then this requested blue field here will change to green accepted. Now, as these communications are going back and forth between Balsa and other companies, whether they're going out, a request is going out or it's coming in, obviously a lot of information could end up listing here in the queue. So if you want to do some filtering of that information, you have a lot of options here on the left side. So you can actually search by company name. You can filter the content by, let's say, if it's the meeting request was scheduled or whether it was accepted or requested, that sort of thing. And you also have advanced filters at the bottom. So if you want to search by, well, how many CROs have I spoken to by company type, you can actually click advanced filters and filter by the company type as well. Okay, so now a lot of communications have gone back and forth. Hopefully I'm getting some meetings scheduled. The scheduler, the auto scheduler, is actually running right now. It runs 24/7 based on, and it's looking at all of the accepted requests. And when it finds a request that has been accepted, and it goes to the calendars of each of the participants of the meeting, and it looks at those calendars and checks their availability. And then when it finds a mutual availability, in this case for all 3 of these participants, it goes ahead and schedules that. You can see up here at the top, the status has changed to scheduled. The time and the date have been assigned for that meeting. As well, automatically a link has been provided for Global Meet. Again, that's the meeting provider that is we're providing for this event. And so as these meetings are also getting scheduled, they are ending up also on the calendar. So once the event starts, you simply go to your calendar. And down below, I have a couple of examples of scheduled meetings. So your scheduled meetings will appear like this in dark blue. Each of them will have a link. And to enter the meeting, you simply click the link. And I'll show you what that looks like now, just in case some of you haven't used Global Meet in the past. You simply click the link, and you go through a few pop-ups just to make sure you're set up properly before the meeting starts. So first of all, if you're attending the meeting on your mobile device, on your phone, you'll need to download the app first and attend the meeting from there. Otherwise, if you're using your laptop, you can simply stick with your web browser. There will be a couple of other pop-ups, one for accepting cookies. The next one will be to enter information about who you are. So your email address, first and last name. Then there will be a pop-up that will guide you through your settings or your preferences for audio. And then you'll be taken into the meeting directly.
Welcome to the meeting.
So now once you're in the meeting, you simply wait for your colleagues to join you. And I'm almost done with the demo, but I just wanted to add a couple of quick points because one of the things that can happen, obviously, is that even with the 24/7 calendar of the virtual partnering event, sometimes availability, it just doesn't happen. And you have to cancel at the last minute, or you just can't find a time when it works for both you and the other company to meet. If that's the case, then what you can do is come back to the message center. You can come to the meeting, and here you have the button down here in the bottom right corner. It says share my contact information, and I mentioned this in the beginning of the demo. This is the contact information you posted on your delegate profile. You click that button and you'll get a little bit of a warning there, and then you're going to go ahead and click yes, and that will post the contact information as you can see here in the thread. Now, it's important to remember this is not shared for everyone who is in the system. This is only being posted for the 2 companies that are participating in this meeting. So once you've shared that contact information, you can also add maybe a quick message here by clicking reply only and simply say something like, hey, you know, couldn't make it, but let's get in touch in a couple of weeks. You can post an additional message there. Last but not least, of course, after the event is over, you'll be able to access the system for, I think it's up to 2 years if you need to come back and see, you know, past meetings, past meeting history. But of course, you don't want to wait 2 years to start your follow-ups. You'll want to start doing them right away. In that case, what you should do is come to the calendar and bring all of your, or pull out all of your meetings from your whole company into an Excel spreadsheet. And here at the calendar, you do that by clicking this export button and then company calendar Excel. That will push all of your meetings into that Excel file, and you'll be able to quickly go through your updates and your follow-ups with the successful partners you met with. One other thing, if anyone on this call, on this webinar, is also an Inova customer that uses the Inova BD platform, there is a connector on that platform that will automatically import all of your meetings into the Inova system. If you have any questions about how that works, contact your Inova CSM. Otherwise, you know, the button should be there and working for everyone at this point. So yeah, that's it for the demo.